His trade war just moments ago taking new aggressive action against China.
President Biden and the leaders of Canada and Mexico have said that they'd strengthened a regional partnership after a three-way summit in Mexico City.
The economic interactions between the USA, China, and Mexico have been a cornerstone of global trade and commerce for decades. In 2024, these relationships continue to evolve, influenced by political, economic, and technological changes. Understanding these dynamics requires a deep dive into trade patterns, investment flows, policy shifts, and the broader context of global economic trends. This exploration will provide a comprehensive overview of how China and Mexico interact economically with the USA. The USA and China are two of the largest economies globally, and their economic interactions significantly impact the global economy. In 2024, the USA-China economic relationship is characterized by both cooperation and competition, shaped by trade, investment, and geopolitical considerations. Trade between the USA and China remains substantial, despite ongoing tensions and tariff disputes. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, in 2023, the total trade in goods between the USA and China was approximately $560 billion. This figure includes both exports and imports, with the USA importing around $450 billion worth of goods from China and exporting about $110 billion to China. The trade balance heavily favors China, which is a point of contention in bilateral relations. Key categories of U.S. imports from China include electronics, machinery, textiles, and consumer goods. On the other hand, major exports from the USA to China include agricultural products, aircraft, and semiconductors. Investment flows between the USA and China are another crucial aspect of their economic interactions. Despite regulatory challenges and rising scrutiny, Chinese foreign direct investment, FDI, in the USA continues, albeit at a slower pace. In 2023, Chinese FDI in the USA was estimated at $30 billion, with significant investments in sectors such as real estate, technology, and manufacturing. Conversely, American companies have substantial investments in China, driven by the country's large market and manufacturing capabilities. According to the Rhodium Group, U.S. FDI in China reached approximately $90 billion in 2023. Major U.S. companies like Apple, Tesla, and General Motors have significant operations in China, contributing to the intertwined economic relationship. The economic relationship between the USA and China is heavily influenced by policy decisions and geopolitical tensions. The trade war initiated in 2018 saw the imposition of tariffs on hundreds of billions of dollars worth of goods, affecting various industries. Although there have been attempts to ease these tensions, issues such as intellectual property rights, market access, and technology transfers remain contentious. In 2024, both countries are focusing on decoupling certain aspects of their economies, particularly in technology. The USA has implemented stricter controls on technology exports to China, especially in areas like semiconductors and telecommunications. Meanwhile, China is investing heavily in self-reliance, aiming to reduce dependence on U.S. technology. The semiconductor industry provides a clear example of the complex economic interactions between the USA and China. The USA is a leader in semiconductor design and manufacturing, with companies like Intel, NVIDIA, and Qualcomm at the forefront. However, China is a major consumer of semiconductors, importing over $300 billion worth of chips annually. In recent years, the USA has restricted the sale of advanced semiconductor technology to China, citing national security concerns. This has prompted China to accelerate its efforts to develop a self-sufficient semiconductor industry. In 2024, China is investing billions in research and development, aiming to reduce its reliance on foreign technology. This dynamic illustrates the interplay of cooperation and competition in the USA-China economic relationship. USA-Mexico economic interactions. The economic relationship between the USA and Mexico is one of the most integrated in the world, facilitated by geographic proximity and robust trade agreements. The United States-Mexico-Canada Agreement, USMCA, which replaced the North American Free Trade Agreement, NAFTA, in 2020, continues to shape this relationship. Trade between the USA and Mexico is characterized by a high degree of integration, particularly in the automotive, electronics, and agricultural sectors. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the total trade in goods between the USA and Mexico was approximately $675 billion in 2023. The USA exported around $260 billion worth of goods to Mexico and imported about $415 billion from Mexico. Key categories of U.S. imports from Mexico include automobiles, machinery, and agricultural products. Major U.S. exports to Mexico include electronics, machinery, and agricultural products such as corn and soybeans. The interconnected supply chains between the two countries are a significant feature of their trade relationship. Investment flows between the USA and Mexico are robust, driven by the integrated nature of their economies. In 2023, U.S. foreign direct investment in Mexico was estimated at $120 billion, with significant investments in manufacturing, automotive, and energy sectors. American companies such as Ford, General Motors, and John Deere have substantial operations in Mexico, leveraging the country's skilled labor force and favorable manufacturing conditions. Mexican investment in the USA, while smaller, is also significant. In 2023, Mexican FDI in the USA was estimated at $18 billion, with investments in sectors such as food and beverage, telecommunications, and financial services. Companies like Grupo Bimbo and Cemex have notable operations in the USA, contributing to the economic ties between the two countries. The USMCA plays a crucial role in shaping the economic relationship between the USA and Mexico. The agreement includes provisions to protect intellectual property, enhance labor rights, and promote environmental sustainability. It also aims to create more balanced and reciprocal trade, addressing some of the imbalances seen under NAFTA. In 2024, both countries are focusing on enhancing supply chain resilience and promoting regional integration. The COVID-19 pandemic highlighted vulnerabilities in global supply chains, prompting a shift towards regionalization. The USA and Mexico are working to strengthen their supply chains, particularly in critical sectors such as pharmaceuticals, electronics, and automotive. The automotive industry exemplifies the deep economic integration between the USA and Mexico. The two countries have a highly interdependent supply chain, with parts and components crossing the border multiple times before a finished vehicle is assembled. Mexico is a major production hub for automotive manufacturers, benefiting from its skilled workforce and competitive labor costs. In 2024, the automotive industry faces challenges related to supply chain disruptions, regulatory changes, and the transition to electric vehicles, EVs. The USMCA includes provisions to promote the production of EVs and related components within North America, encouraging investment in this growing sector. Companies like Ford and General Motors are investing in EV production facilities in both the USA and Mexico, reflecting the collaborative nature of their economic relationship. Comparative analysis: China versus Mexico. The economic interactions of the USA with China and Mexico offer distinct contrasts and similarities. While China and Mexico are both major trading partners of the USA, their economic relationships differ significantly in terms of trade composition, investment flows, and geopolitical considerations. The trade composition between the USA and China is characterized by a significant trade deficit, with the USA importing more from China than it exports. This imbalance is a major point of contention and has led to ongoing trade disputes. In contrast, trade between the USA and Mexico is more balanced, facilitated by integrated supply chains and regional trade agreements. Investment flows between the USA and China are substantial but are influenced by regulatory challenges and geopolitical tensions. American companies invest in China primarily to access its large market and manufacturing capabilities. Conversely, Chinese investment in the USA is driven by strategic interests in technology and real estate. In comparison, investment flows between the USA and Mexico are robust and driven by regional integration. American companies invest in Mexico to leverage its manufacturing capabilities and favorable labor conditions. Mexican investment in the USA, while smaller, is also significant and focuses on sectors such as food and beverage and telecommunications. Geopolitical considerations play a significant role in the economic interactions between the USA and China. Issues such as intellectual property rights, market access, and technology transfers are major points of contention. The USA's strategic competition with China also influences their economic relationship, with both countries seeking to reduce their dependence on each other. In contrast, the economic relationship between the USA and Mexico is characterized by cooperation and regional integration. The USMCA provides a framework for resolving trade disputes and promoting economic collaboration. While there are challenges, such as migration and border security, the overall relationship is more stable and collaborative. Recent data and studies provide valuable insights into the economic interactions between the USA, China, and Mexico in 2024. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, the total trade in goods between the USA and China was approximately $560 billion in 2023, with a significant trade deficit in favor of China. In comparison, total trade in goods between the USA and Mexico was approximately $675 billion in 2023, with a more balanced trade relationship. The Rhodium Group estimates that U.S. foreign direct investment in China reached approximately $90 billion in 2023. In contrast, U.S. foreign direct investment in Mexico was estimated at $120 billion in 2023. These figures highlight the significant investment flows between the USA and these two countries. Case studies of the semiconductor industry, USA-China, and automotive industry, USA-Mexico, illustrate the complex economic interactions and interdependencies. These industries are critical to the economies of the USA, China, and Mexico, and their interactions provide valuable insights into broader economic trends. To conclude, the economic interactions between the USA, China, and Mexico are complex and multifaceted, influenced by trade, investment, policy shifts, and geopolitical considerations. In 2024, these relationships continue to evolve, shaped by global economic trends and strategic interests. Understanding these dynamics is crucial for policymakers, businesses, and stakeholders as they navigate the challenges and opportunities of the global economy. The ongoing developments in trade, investment, and industry-specific interactions will continue to define the economic landscape, highlighting the importance of strategic collaboration and competition in shaping the future.